Hey guys, and welcome back to the finale of The Force Unleashed 2. We're
Thank
finally getting to the end of this. And now we're going to fuck up the canon timeline.
By the way, I looked up the light side ending after we were done with the previous part. Juno survives getting thrown out that fucking window by Vader. What?
Because video games.
You guys weren't kidding when we were talking about massive ass cliffhanger it's left on.
How dare you not believe us?
Because we're so trustworthy and honest.
It wouldn't be the first time you lied to Luigi.
So yeah, the non-canon DLC ending takes place in episode 6.
Yeah. Which is non-canon because of so many reasons.
Basically, Vader's saying that we've got to destroy the last remaining rebels because this is their last hideout. So this is pretty much a what-if scenario.
Basically, Return of the Jedi if the rebels were losing.
And yes, now we're playing as the Dark Apprentice clone.
Yeah.
Yep.
As you can tell by his pale skin and very awkward lightsaber.
Yeah, you had to wait for a save there.
Yeah.
That's the only time it's ever done that.
Oh, by the way, because of all this force detail, expect a lot of slowdown.
Screen tearing is still there.
Screen tearing and slowdown will be in abundance.
Well, the screen tearing has always been there from the first game. I think that was a design choice.
Yeah.
Screen tearing is never a design choice, it's just bad optimization.
I have to agree with Steven there.
Ghostbusters on PS3 was really bad with screen tearing. Thankfully they fixed that in the also wonderful remaster.
Hey, look guys, the one time we actually get some variety of our enemies.
What? The game's interesting again.
But
It's really not.
but it's a DLC.
Yeah. The DLC, and let's face it, they are just reskin stormtroopers at this point.
And how long is the deal? Well, the length of the part might give a clue about that.
Yeah, the
Yes,
DLC.
This is the finale. We're expecting to finish in this part.
Yeah. Well, if you were to ask me the average time, this DLC roughly will take you at least an hour at max.
Because Vorgol's downfall in the Dante's game takes about maybe 1-2 hours to... Yeah, I call him Vorgol because that's not the
It took
real
a second for me to
Vargol.
get that.
Hey, that's not as bad as Dante.
I've got the Dante's game ready for eventually, and oh boy, believe me, we're going to have quite a few things to say about that.
Oh god, yes.
And you're saving the worst for last.
Yeah, that thing they tried to pass off as DMC2. You're just like, fuck you.
Yeah, at this point I think it was just done. It's just like, right, fuck you all.
Let's just get it over with.
Yeah.
And also, a little bit of backstory behind the scenes here. This was not actually my profile that he got because Sean does have the game, but he didn't get the Endor DLC. So this is on my save file.
Off of you.
And plus, everything's maxed here
Yeah.
in terms of abilities. So this is what it's like when you're playing as max power.
Shortcut.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Like
Nowadays, that would be a quote-unquote time saver you'd have to buy.
Oh, don't even.
This is
Wasn't
state
it-
our industry is in right now makes me sad.
Yeah.
No, what was it? Konami, Metal Gear Survive. They charge you like $10 for a
For an
save slot.
extra save file.
That is bollocks.
God.
I swear, with these new transactions they do, it's making it worse and worse for the gaming industry as a whole.
Konami seriously need to get that shit together. They're already gone, but they're already too far down the rabbit hole to come back. But they seriously need to get their head out of their ass and do something.
And as you can tell by our tangents, the game is up to its riveting standards.
Like, give us the entire Metal Gear Solid saga from like what is it, Peace Walker to MGS4 on PS4 or 5.
Now, time for some basic platforming.
Yeah.
Basically, this long piece right here, that's a seesaw. So basically, it goes down with your weight.
Yeah.
You gotta lift this log here to keep the one end down so it stays up, and then bring the other log down so you can jump
So
across.
it's like the magic roundabout, only nowhere near as fun.
Basically.
That takes me back. I haven't seen that show in a long ass time.
Don't be talking about the movie though.
Oh god, how was it bad?
It's alright, but I've not seen it in years, so opinions might change. I mean, the last time I saw it, I was like, ooh, 10? Yep, that's a speeder bike.
It's a good looking bike, or it would have been if it hadn't
blown up.
That's not as bad as, this is a nice closet.
Oh yeah, some comment Johnny's 5 Nights 4 review.
Look at that slowdown, and get this.
Oh Jesus, the slowdown's even on the camera.
And now we get to fight the Ewoks.
That's screen tearing.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. We said it would be in abundance.
And so, and plus it's because of the design of all the
Fuck you.
Yep.
Oof. Yeah, that's right. That's his grab attack against the Ewoks. He just kicks them, and you can mind control them.
Oh, so they kill each other. Oh,
Yes.
So Dark Apprentice is addicted to teddy bears.
Oof. Yeah,
Fuck
because
outta
they're because they're small, your force push sends them flying.
Yeah, they kind of like the Jawas in Force Unleashed 1.
Do you feel kind of bad actually killing the Ewoks? Because was it some people love the Ewoks?
yeah, everyone likes the Ewoks.
Yeah.
Not really. Like Angry Joe was angry at the Empire that they let a bunch of bears destroy the Death Star.
He was just joking, and
Yeah.
then character is Palpatine.
Well then, you have to admit, it doesn't look good on their Imperial resume. It's like, it's conquered the galaxy, defeated by teddy bears.
That was one of the most depressing moments in Return of the Jedi, when there's that big fuck all explosion as a couple are running away, and then the other one walks over to him while he finds he's dead. So, and Return of the Jedi, rated U by the PBSC. The original trilogy as a whole is rated U.
Yeah.
It's like, how? Because there's the guy who gets his arm cut off in episode 4, and you do see blood. This was... And people thought Force Awakens was being original with the blood at the start on that stormtrooper.
Yeah.
You mean Finn?
No, there's a stormtrooper that's like dying, and he like grabs onto Finn's helmet,
right,
and there's
Yeah,
blood
on
his
Finn's
hand.
head, on his helmet.
Those are the only two times we've ever, I think, only two times we've ever seen blood in the Star Wars, the canon movies. Anyway. Oh god!
I think that's intentional, though. That was intentional to slow it down. Kind of like how they used to do it in the first game, where Vader would force push, it would show you all the dynamics.
That reminds me of like Tekken 7. If there's a very close victory, and it looks like both of the players are about to win, it slows down, and there's that huge slowdown before the last hit connects for like epic moments. Tekken 7 is great.
But in video game logic, we can't help it that it's either an epic moment or a slowdown.
Well, considering Tekken 7 runs on PS4 and is actually optimized for it, it's not slowed down in that case.
Now you can see there, because of the Force Repulse Max, even if they don't go flying,
Pull them towards the screen.
you saw there, like the Ewok and the Rebels, if they get caught in that repulse, they get disintegrated.
Yeah.
Even if they don't fly away. And these turrets. They're protected by a shield. You've got to destroy that little box there. But the thing is, these are the lasers that constantly fire and they slowly drain your health.
Everything you own is in the box to the left.
Yes. But once you destroy the shield, it'll go nuts.
No, you destroyed the box. So
Yeah,
the age-old question of what's in the box will never be answered.
What's in the box?
If you don't know what that's from, it's from an old horror movie called Seven.
7.
Yeah, with Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt as the main characters, and Kevin Spacey as the main villain.
Of course.
The ending is rather dark, to say the least.
Now we've got a turret that's further on the hill. You need to use lightsaber throw, or when the shield's done, you can just throw objects at it.
I love how you shock that Ewok, then walk up to it and slash it while it's still dying from the effect of electricity.
Well, I don't think you can die from a small shock.
And this is the evil Star Killer.
Dude, it only takes a small amount of volts to stop your heart. You're just getting hit by the laser, you're like, no fucks given. Because the clone is just done.
What if that was? What if you didn't see the turret for the longest time? You end up thought that was Superman's laser vision. The rebels hired a superhero from an alternate universe to help them.
Evil Superman or good one? Can we please get good Superman back for Injustice 3, please? Evil Superman is not cool anymore.
Can we at least redeem
Walk the
himself?
log! Can you not jump off
No,
that
you can't
log?
jump off the log because it'll slide you down.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Gravity! Yeah, what are you screaming about?
They know they're about to die.
Yeah, it's like, we've seen what you did to our friends. We're fucked.
That guy's like, what the? He's like staring at you after you kicked.
You disintegrated him into the rock. You made him become one with the rock.
Just playing Gary's mod now.
See how he's catching fire now when Sean's using lightning? That's because it's at max. So I think it does a little bit of damage, like bonus damage.
Imagine how much faster this game would have been if he'd started with the max profile.
And look at that. The idea of decapitating the rebels is just their helmets fly off.
For fuck's sake.
Probably Code Veronica, you could do that in Code Veronica as well. There are some zombies with hats, and you aim up with a shotgun, their hats fall off. I don't know why they took out the headshots as well in that game.
Is it because there was at Code Veronica there was only one shotgun that was a French shotgun?
No, it's nothing to do with. I know Matt made that joke in Code Veronica SGB, because the French don't like blood, but no, as a whole, Code Veronica was the first game in the series to lower the overall gore value significantly. Even on the zombies, for some reason. I can understand Japan changing it for your characters when they died, because they did not like the violent death scenes either. They are very strict about that sort of thing. But for the zombies, what?
Well, I'm sorry, but having those gruesome deaths is what made it scary.
Now, if you fuck up, bad things happen to you.
Yes.
Resident Evil 4. Oh.
The chainsaw.
That is hands down the most sickening death scene in the game.
Or the original PlayStation 1 Hunters, if they do that instant kill decapitation attack.
They were at their worst in RE1 Director's Cut, Free and Veronica. The Hunters.
Chewie, we got company.
Here's our first boss of this DLC.
I remember when we were recording. Remember when we were recording, you tried to tell me something about what Han Solo was going to do, and before you could finish, they said he's going to shoot first. Yeah.
Now, the strategy again is just like any other ATST, just destroy the vehicle. But as you can see, that if you pick up the objects and light them, you do double the damage.
Wow, what was that one phrase Richtofen had? I'm trying to remember. It was something like double the damage.
Yeah, double the pleasure, double the pain, double the damage. Now you see there, Han's firing rockets at you. No, you can't.
Fucking rocket.
You can deflect them, but get this: not only can you pick them up and throw it back, but see if Chewie happens to be in Han's line of sight, Han will shoot him. Like you saw there.
Han ain't loyal.
Like you saw there. Well, what the fuck? What is going on?
That was a super Ewok.
Yeah, this was optimized very well, this DLC, it seems.
If you're wondering why the chicken legs are glowing like that, it's because he has a shockwave attack.
We have to buy the princess more time.
Where is Leia, actually?
Inside the rebel base, getting ready to destroy the shield.
Yeah, with George Lucas in his cameo before he gets thrown off the ledge. Yeah, the guy who gets bonked off of the railing, I think that's George Lucas, unless I'm getting that horribly wrong.
I don't think George Lucas cameoed in his movie, apart from episode.
In Beverly Hills Cop 3, actually.
Well, he did make a cameo appearance in episode 3 when Anakin's going to the opera house. He's one of the main minor characters you see as he's running past the stairs, along with his daughter.
Oh, right.
The only time you'll actually see him in full makeup.
That reminds me of like Peter Jackson having a cameo in all 3 Lord of the Rings movies. Actually.
Oh, here, get this. Did you know Peter Jackson had a cameo in Hot Fuzz?
Yeah, the guy at the start.
As Santa Claus. Here's your fucking bomb. Now, here's a little story I have. This QTE. What happened when one time I was playing this QTE happened. It goes to the bit where Starkiller lifts Chewie out from the top of the cockpit. But right here, when he picks it up, the character models move to the left, but the walker stays in place. So, like, right here, it's like I'm sliding while picking him up. And then just teleports me back here.
And
Chewie's dead.
We fucked up the timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah. This whole DLC fucks up the timeline.
I think in like the expanded universe, there was a story where, what was it?
And also the Dark Apprentice wanted a new Wookiee skin rug.
Yeah. And he pretty much predicted episode 7 before episode 7 actually became a thing.
Thank you. That was like the most shocking moment in the movie, the first time I saw it.
I remember when this was released back years ago in 2010 on IGN, there was a lot of downvotes on YouTube over that video because of Han Solo dying and Chewie dying. Like, claiming they've ruined Star Wars. I'm like,
you're playing as the bad guy.
Plus, this is a what-if scenario. It's not canon.
Understood. And thank you.
There's Leia. We'll deal with her later.
Why should run off?
Well, the rebels had said, go back, but this guy's too dangerous. Go and get those charges set.
Go. He's too dangerous. That's why we'll be your meat shields and die. Because we know we're fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping he'd disintegrate when you had that.
Now get this, the box is behind the force fields. You can't move on till the shields won't deactivate till you kill enough enemies.
Yeah, that's wonderful design.
Yeah.
Not being able to deal with that.
Well, one thing that's different between the rebels and the stormtroopers is that they actually try to throw grenades at you. Because according to them, the rebels are smarter than the troopers.
Well, I suppose they kind of have to be, considering that they don't have the resources of the Empire.
Aye, we first have that, what was it, the trooper bonked his head on one of the doors, and then previously we saw the stormtrooper dive off.
Yeah.
There you go, now
can you actually?
Yeah, oh, okay, let's deactivate the shields and let him in.
Yeah.
Let him have it! You do feel... Well, the combat is mediocre, but there are occasions where you do feel powerful. But power can only last for so long.
Wait, is there no one even on that? It's just a machine?
It's a machine, yeah. Why would they need a control box if there's a man in it?
It's sad, sir. As soon as you throw the sabers at him, cuts away.
Yes.
Hey,
At this point, Starkiller was too pissed off we can't show what he did to that poor bastard.
Hey kids, want to see the uncut version?
Waka waka. Who wants to hear a funny ass joke?
Oh, get this. Now this part here. It's throughout the whole generator. But get this: the troopers are attacking you and all. So everyone's after you, not the Empire.
Free for all.
Well, everyone, yeah. It's kind of like that mission from the first game where Vader tells you kill everyone.
Yeah. Stormtroopers and Rebel Mooks versus Starkiller. Who's going to win?
What is Brian Iron's old line in RE2? Everyone's gonna die.
So what, the Rebels and the Empire call a temporal truce to take out this one ban?
Well, maybe not take him out, maybe survive a few extra seconds.
Oh, we've got the walkers again.
The two of you must sacrifice yourselves for me. You shall be rewarded in heaven. I love that moment in The Mummy Returns.
Nice timing there.
Oh, I'm gonna wait for that. The missiles again. Boring!
Or you can just grab them.
And if you get close, you're
In fact,
fucking
question.
fire.
You have the Force and you're able to do God knows what. What's stopping you from picking up the walker and just crushing it?
Nothing. Well, maybe the game design.
Yeah, game design this.
You can pull down a fucking Star Destroyer, yet you can't lift a chicken walker. No,
That looks...
don't worry, these aren't insta-kill, they stun you.
Oh.
As you see there.
Like so.
You fail, Sean.
Alright, they just stun you temporarily.
Ooh,
These-
they touch it.
It's almost as if this was the first time my first time playing through this.
Yeah, this part is technically a blind playthrough. Yeah, this part is technically a blind playthrough, so to speak, because he'd never played this DLC before until we recorded it.
We have these things called test runs.
Well, I think Sean was fine, because he got the basic idea of how the game functions. There it is.
Did you put that in, or was
No, that's in the game.
Oh.
Every Star Wars game has to have that scream at least once. So who's to... That's that's one of the expectations you go when you go into a brand new movie. It's
Rise
like,
of
okay,
Skywalker.
where's the Wilhelm scream?
Wilhelm scream 0 out of 10.
You joke, but chances are somebody would actually do that.
Yeah.
I just hope Rise of Skywalker isn't anywhere near as divisive as Last Jedi. I enjoyed Last Jedi, but there are some things that I kind of don't like about it.
Yeah. And to show how divisive it is, say all you want about the prequels. I saw them multiple times because I enjoyed what they are. I only saw episode 8 once.
Yep.
That just shows you how divisive it is. It's not a bad film, but I don't like some of the directions.
Aye.
And I think most of it goes to Rian Johnson.
Yeah, even
Who
Mark Hamill's
apparently
on
has
record.
been greenlit for another Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, we brought that up the last part.
Aye.
Yeah, even Mark Hamill was not happy with, like I get it. I don't believe when Luke got his father's lightsaber, I don't believe he would just toss it.
Aye.
when I first saw that, I was like, what? In the cinema. I really hope that Mark gets to play, you know, Happy-Go-Lucky Luke again in Rise of Skywalker. Because he has been confirmed as part of the cast.
Alright.
Well, who?
Mark Hamill.
Oh,
Did you not hear about this?
I thought you were talking about someone else. Like, I thought you were talking about like a minor rebel captain.
Because they were going to bring him back in the next one. Why bother killing him in the last one?
He'll certainly be
a Force ghost.
Yeah, back to his old personality.
Hopefully.
Because they... Remember, that was the whole point of like the last 10 minutes, 20 minutes or so of The Last Jedi. And finally pick himself up and getting off his ass and realizing, oh wait, I'm never going to be perfect.
Nah.
No, not until he gets guidance from the good old Master Yoda.
Down to the beach I'm strolling. Imagine if he had done that talk with Luke in The Last Jedi with that playing.
No, the last scene where they see them back to back and then the camera pans out, then a seagull just flies in and just joins them.
Like, that whole scene where
well, a Force Ghost Shieild just lands on Yoda's shoulder.
That last standoff though is one of the best scenes in the whole Star Wars saga. The idea that Luke wins a fight against the entire Empire without even fighting.
But that was more like a Force projection.
That's the whole point, is that it's so fucking brilliantly done.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't immediately catch on to what was happening at first, and then people were like, his feet don't actually move the salt, the sand.
You don't see footprints and all that.
The delete was it Nostalgia Critics review of Last Jedi? Like, look, our plan to exterminate Skywalker has worked out perfectly. You can ask him yourself. Ah! The guy playing Luke's just like,
yeah, where after the huge barrage from all the fucking machines, he just wipes that bit stuff.
Just to taunt Kylo, because Kylo's just gone nuts at that point.
Yeah.
There's theories going about that Rey might end up going to the dark side from new stuff we've seen. Her holding a double-bladed red lightsaber.
Yeah, well, there's black robes.
Well, there's a theory that I somewhat believe where it would explain why Snoke would die so quickly. Is that if you paid attention, Snoke has this ring, and what if the Emperor found a way to possess that object, and then whoever wears it, he possesses. And you have to watch that trailer again. But there's a short glimpse where the Dark Rey that we saw in the recent trailer, she's wearing that ring. So what if that's how Palpatine comes back?
That would be some shit if Kylo ended up being the savior of it all. Of like the good, ended up being the hero or that.
I think he's kind of established himself as bad guy at this point.
Oh, good, we're done.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about.
Here's our final boss, folks. Ever.
Yeah.
Get up, woman!
This is something they hinted at so many times in the expanded universe. I kind of wish they would have done this in the
reason this is non-canon number 2. Luke apparently died on Hoth.
Now I am a Jedi.
Okay, I really wish we would have gotten to see Leia as a Jedi actually canon. But instead we just get Super Leia.
Yeah.
I love all the memes people make of like her and Superman, her and Superman's cape, or they like Photoshop Leia's face onto Superman.
Now Leia here has multiple faces. This is her weakest face. You see her stun when her lightsaber is off. That's her chance to attack. But when she does these, you just block, and then she'll fire for a force projectile, which instantly knocks you back. But here, I think I'd tell Sean to go nuts with his lightsabers, where you get a full combo right here. And that's the biggest combo you can do by pressing the square button 4 times, delay it, and then 4 times in a
She jumps away from you, clearly out of your reach, cutscene transition to she's right in front of you. What?
Right, this next phase she uses the turrets against you. You just basically have to destroy the turrets, but their damage can be a little bit
It's a fucking lightsaber and she chooses to use turrets on you.
Yeah. She never said she was a very good Jedi.
Now here's the key thing. You see there's 2 lasers on each side of the line. You don't have to get both of them. As long as you get one of them, it'll send a current shock to the control panel where Leia is.
So for this phase, she's defeated by the very technology she's using against you.
Later on, she'll start rotating the platform, though, to make it a bit more difficult.
You're walking right into that.
There you see that line's gone, so that's it. But now she's rotating the platform.
There are checkpoints for this, because this seems like it.
I think there's a check. There's a checkpoint in between each phase of the fight. I think there's 4 phases in total.
This is phase like 2. Sean's about to die.
Don't think I'm dying this phase. I think the 3rd phase is the first time. It's perhaps when we want to die it.
Later on,
when something to look forward to.
When we get to the top of the platform.
You're just walking and play, and you still walk into it.
You're not going anywhere.
Wonderful.
Making your way.
God.
Again, first time playing through the segment.
That's why you do test runs.
Yes, but remember, I didn't get the DLC for this, so I have to pay money for this, and I'm not paying money for this shit.
I was basically his guide.
Yeah.
Like his unconscious. We
It'd be like trying to blind play Resident Evil 0 on normal mode, like Matt did, because he hadn't practiced it in a while. You see how well that went?
That's it. You did that pretty quick, and you got all those turrets in the short span of time. That what happened? There was supposed to be an electric shock.
Yeah,
but
it's very obvious.
It failed to load.
Didn't load.
And here's phase 3, on top of the tower here. This is where she does her saber combat again, but she likes to jump at the distance, and that's when you use saber throw to try and throw her off balance.
Do you not use unleashed at any point? You have a full gauge.
Well, I would imagine.
I think I know I'm gonna. Oh wait.
Now you, shut you up.
Yeah, well, it's a little too late. Look at your health.
Don't think you actually can take damage.
No, you don't take damage when you're in Gaul mode.
It's like when you summon your what is it, the Guardian form in Neo with your weapon.
And here's our final phase, where she goes full out, and this is the toughest part of the fight. It's knowing when to attack and how to block.
So get good.
So yeah, I would say this is the most difficult fight in the game. Like she does all this fancy move and all, and you got a split second to react because until she's stunned, right there.
Yeah.
So you have to wait for the right timing.
And then Ninja Gaiden or Dark Souls, get good.
When she was going like that, yeah, when she's going like that, that's it. And then she occasionally jumps at the back there.
That was the most telegraphed attack in the game, and you still got hit by it, Sean. You fail.
Heart attack! But after well, this is it. You're done. And here was me preparing him to say, okay, these QTs are always this button, so be ready.
Not bad. Off the side. At which point Andrew would be like, why not me for using notes in classic Resident Evil?
Oh, that's right, I have 2 sabers! Did you forget that? And that's Leia done.
Yep.
And that means the Rebel is...
The Star Wars timeline is irreparably fucked.
Time paradox!
Yeah.
This is the only time we see the Emperor.
Yeah.
Is this Ian McDiarmid?
No, that's Sam Witwer.
Oh.
He's been
rather convincing impersonation.
Well, he's been voicing the Emperor since the first game.
I didn't know that.
There is but one last detail to take care of.
We're gonna kill Vader.
Take me for a fool.
You predicted before it even happened.
Maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all.
Were pitifully obvious from their inception. Now, Skywalker, you will die.
Oh, that's right. I'm bound to a life support machine.
Oh, now that rule applies. Why didn't it apply when we were shocking him earlier?
Take your troops and destroy the clone.
Because
It didn't look like he was dead there. It looked like he was just critically injured.
Just critically injured. But I would imagine here he's meditating because he's failed to in the Force.
Alright.
No happy endings for anyone.
And that was Force Unleashed 2.
It's over.
Yay!
Final thoughts?
Mediocre. Yeah, you
it.
can tell this was rushed.
6 months for a script, yeah.
Aye.
Like, this
It
doesn't
shows.
come. This doesn't. Aside from a few quality of life gameplay improvements, this
Aye.
doesn't come anywhere near close to the first game. Like, this is just. This is a step down. I'm sorry. This isn't anywhere
it's
near
just-
as good
no.
as the first game.
No, it is. It's just.
It's alright, but it honestly should have been much better than what it is.
Aye.
Aye.
Repetitive, like. No variety. Just very few enemy types in the game.
It's like when
Just
you.
doing a lot of the same things over and over.
It's like when you do the first level, you're pretty much seeing the rest of the game.
Aye.
Yeah, and the over-reliance and chase sequences early as well.
The only thing I would say that is what's somewhat good is the faster lightsaber combat, just because of the fact you have two sabers instead.
Yeah, that's one of those quality of life things, but it can't carry the rest of the game.
Aye.
The story itself. Well, how do you feel about the story, considering clones are not your favourite plot device, Stephen?
What do you think?
Aye.
Yeah, story 6 months to write a script.
Aye.
It's kind of a shame too, because this could have been something real. If it had taken off as a trilogy, we could have had something really special for the third game.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, there was supposed to be a third game, but then
Yeah,
it
you
got
can
cancelled.
kind of tell that from the
Yeah.
light side ending.
And actually, Sam Witwer shared details of what it was going to be. The third game was apparently going to be an open world game where Starkiller Clone and Vader would temporarily team up against the Emperor's new threat. So it would have been
Then
like a
go back to
sandbox
beating the
game.
shit out of each other afterwards, like Naruto and Sasuke.
So yeah, in my opinion, this is mediocre. Absolutely mediocre. It's not terrible. It does its job, but besides that, it's repetitiveness. It's it's somewhat forgettable story,
Aye, in some ways it's worse than a bad game.
and hence why I don't consider this one canon.
Aye.
I don't care what Disney says. I only consider the first game canon
First game's story is fantastic.
Aye.
because it builds up the rebellion way better.
Yeah.
And it feels like it actually fits in the timeline. Whereas this is just there.
We've just thrown the timeline out the window at this point.
Yeah.
Right,
So
that was.
what's next?
I don't know.
Now that
Considering
we're
how
finally done.
well, Jeff Marsh was credited twice.
Well, maybe he did do more of that stuff as well. So
The Skywalker Sympathy Orchestra. David W. Collins, that's the voice director, but he also voices Proxy.
Let's see if there's any notable names here, actually.
What, we're playing the name guessing game now?
Oh, wait, it's already
Probably
back.
more fun than the actual
Here's the
game.
cast.
So, what?
Matt Sloan, D. Bradley Baker, Tom Kane, Steve Bloom, Fred Tatasciore, Chris Cox. By the way, Chris Cox is the voice of the Terminator in MK11. So Arnold Schwarzenegger personally chose Chris Cox to be the voice of the Terminator in that game. And Sam Witwer was some of the Aberrant clones as well. Fun fact, Chris Cox voices Hawkeye in some Marvel media, like the animated shows. So Hawkeye's the Terminator.
Oh, for God's sake.
Get over here.
Oh man, so
Failed in your mission.
That's a bizarre crossover waiting to happen.
You failed in your mission. I've only just arrived. I love Terminator's intros in MK11.
right, that's our second Star Wars game done. So, as for the next game in a Star Wars, I think I might have something in the backbone, and that is Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah. That story will be a laugh and a half as well, in other ways.
That should be fun.
Aye, but here's a little clue: 05. That's all I'm saying, folks, for that Battlefront 2. Any
Also, you're
power-
not doing the new one, no. Oh, you said 05.
Yes. As a hint to the audience, and you just went and ruined the surprise.
Oh.
Right, you're banned from the channel. That's just
Exercise powers of editing.
no. I'll just leave it in.
Yeah, whatever. You're really dumb. There, go. So, what's next?
I don't know, Sean. What do you have in
What do you
mind?
mean you don't know what's next? Well, I know what we are doing after us. We're going back to Devil May Cry 3.
Yep. Stephen is very happy about that.
Yes, very.
Well, in terms of games that I would probably do, maybe thinking something like Mario Galaxy for my next playthrough.
Oh, I can hear the sound of the Ouija being thrown away in favour of me. What? Who says that playing in Mario Galaxy? Was the Ouija in Mario Galaxy 1 though?
Yeah.
I think he was.
Wait, we'll save that for when we get to Galaxy.
Hey, there is some justice in the world after all.
Right, and as we've continued... Sorry.
You fail.
Shut up. Right, guys, we'll see you as we continue on with Devil May Cry in the next video for Cal Gaming. I'm Sean.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm bored. Bye, Steven.
See you guys later.